Shalom. A lot of you probably know that the Palestinians are planning an effort to try and get the United Nations to approve of a Palestinian state without any negotiations with Israel. I have many videos explaining why negotiations with Israel would be fruitless because simply the Palestinians don't want peace. Hamas says they want to destroy Israel, and Abbas, when he's truthful to the Arabs and to the Palestinian world, says he wants everything. So there's no way there's going to be peace with the Palestinians. So they want to have a unilateral declaration of statehood for part of Israel, and they'll see that as a first step towards liberating all of Israel and killing 7 million more Jews. But in any case, what is the diplomatic strategy that they're going to try and propose? So here's the idea of what they're going to try and do. The 15-member Security Council of the United Nations, they want to get a sympathetic nation in that 15-member Security Council to propose a resolution which would then recognize them in international law. And at the same time, to get 2/3 of the General Assembly of the United Nations to recognize the state of Palestine, there would be a propaganda victory. Now, should the United States veto the Security Council resolution, as is probably they will, then the Palestinian strategy would try to invoke a rarely used rule, number 377, which is called Uniting for Peace Resolution, which allows the General Assembly to override the Security Council. Now, that is certainly something that Israel and its friends want to avoid because it was used in 1981 to set up the legal framework for a decade of boycotts of South Africa that ultimately toppled the country's regime. And Israel doesn't want to be destroyed, obviously. So what will be the Israeli strategy in trying to counter this diplomatic effort by the Palestinians for unilateral declaration of statehood? Well, step number one is to avoid the necessity of the United States using its veto in the Security Council by thwarting the 9 votes necessary to pass this resolution. So then it's simply old-fashioned politics. You go through the 15 nations, you try and figure out who you can turn to Israel's favor to block it. And if you are interested, I can tell you that the 5 sure votes against the proposal on the current council, they believe, would be France, Britain, the United States, and then rotating members, Germany and Colombia. And the idea is if they can't get through the United Security Council, they lose a lot of momentum for the General Assembly. Then, besides those 5, you have to draw in some more Western or Western-leading countries from the rotating 10 members. They mentioned 3 possibilities as trying to go after Portugal, the EU, Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's possible that they would go for it too. Other members of the Council are permanent members Russia and China, India, Lebanon, Brazil, Nigeria, and South Africa. Now, a parallel strategy to this is to lay the groundwork by explaining to 120 different nations who routinely favor Palestinian rights that even a symbolic recognition of Palestine is not an ordinary rebuke of Israel. You have to make sure these countries understand how very serious it is, and that the long-term harm to peace that it would bring is something, in the absence of a real peace deal, is something that these nations want to avoid. You basically say to them, why would you prejudge the outcome for recognizing a Palestinian state before contentious issues have been decided? Every peaceful outcome in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been the result of negotiations, starting with the Egyptian-Israel Accord. Why would you circumvent the whole process and allow the Palestinians to do this without even any effort at peace? And in addition, it's pretty clear that the Palestinian campaign will also prompt intensified Israeli settlement activity. It would also alienate the U.S. and probably spur Congress to cut off funds. So it's clear that the best route for the Palestinians is honest negotiations, although you can watch a dozen of my videos to see how fruitless that seems to be. They simply do not seem interested in real peace. But my goal in this video was simply to help you understand what the coming issues would be involving Palestinian efforts to achieve statehood without talking to Israel, but simply through the United Nations.